Welcome, everybody, to the LIPSEY'S Aim Higher podcast. I am Rob Eberzino. This is Jason Klossner. We have John, the owner of VZ Grips. And we have Andrew Gore from Smith Wesson. How can I...
Handgun product manager.
You know, it is. Yeah. It is the end of day.
You got one job, Rob.
Yeah. It is the end of day one. So, you know, we're kind of burning out here a little bit. So, anyways, welcome, guys. How's everybody doing? We're good?
Yeah. As you said, it's the end of day one. But
welcome
been
back.
A good day.
And welcome back to you. So, listen, story of the day, this Ultimate Carry gun, it's been just fantastic. The response has been fantastic. And part of the reason is, you two guys working really hard on it, but obviously some of the other vendors, we brought into this project, you being one of them, John, instrumental, in this project. So I'm going to let you guys kind of take off with it. And how did we kick this thing off?
Well, when we first, started this project, the three things that we really wanted to work on was sights, trigger, and grips. And, the sights, we kind of had a pretty good idea from the beginning. The trigger, we knew that was something that Smith would have to do in-house.
Right.
But the grips is really probably the one where you have the most options. I mean, there's lots of different styles, a lot of different materials, a lot of different companies. And the first thing that Andrew and I both said was we really would like to work with VZ on this.
Yeah.
They're known for great products. I've got a lot of their grips on a lot of my auto pistols, my 1911s, high powers, different guns like that.
Yeah.
And, we said, they're known as a high-end deal, and we want this to be a high-end gun.
Sure.
And we don't want to skimp on the grip. And so Andrew said, hey, look, I know John well. I'll reach out to him and see what we can do. And one of the things, design feature that we wanted to have was a little bit of different grip. The traditional boot grip is very small and compact, but it's also a little harder on the recoil.
Yeah.
And so we had some ideas about grip design that we wanted to approach, and John was just fantastic of really nailing it every time we asked for something. And we would validate, we'd go shoot, and then sometimes maybe this didn't work out exactly the way we thought it would.
Right.
And we'd be out there, and we got on we were at range day, it's raining outside, we're out there shooting, it's cold.
Yeah.
And Andrew's like, hey, I want to... y'all want to get on the call with John? I'm like, sure. I'm like, where do you want to do it? He goes, like, now. He's like, he's ready to talk. I'm like, oh, okay. So we're on the range hashing this out.
Right.
And, 3 days later, there's a box shows up at my desk with the next sample.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm out at the range with a Dremel tool, whittling on things, getting it exactly the way, send the pictures to John.
Yeah.
A week later, a box shows up with exact grips. And that's what we have today.
So, John, what when you first kind of learned of the project, what were your initial thoughts and so forth?
So we work on a lot of projects with different companies.
Right.
And, we just get sent a file and say, hey, make this. And this was unique because working with Smith and Andrew, for the first time, he gave us a lot of leeway. And he asked about colors, and we had a color choice. And then, when Jason, you guys all call from the range, usually someone that will change a file or something like that, or a program or a drawing, and then we go off of that. But this was more organic, where you dremeled something, you said it to me, we looked at it, we did, we measured things. Then we just put the program together and stuck it in the machine, and it came out, and we just kept on sending samples. And we got to a point where everything was working the way it should. Yeah. But it was a unique way of doing business. Yeah. And those are truly custom grips. I mean, they're
unique.
Absolutely.
He said unique.
I just wanted to make sure they fit my hand.
Yeah.
So, but really, that was another thing when we were validating the sights. We brought Daryl and Brian and Andrew was all down. A bunch of us were out shooting. It was not only to validate the sights, but also to validate the grips. Because I wanted different size hands, different style shooting grips, different hand strengths. We had some female shooters go out and try them out. And that last iteration, everybody was like, this is it. Yeah. It felt great. And to tell you, today we really got, I think, the ultimate validation, because conservatively we've had 1,000 people pick those guns up today.
At least,
and everybody's like, wow, this grip feels fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what a J-frame should feel like. And so I really think that particular contour that we came up with is going to be something that we can keep using in future projects.
Yeah, I was in on the color choice, so I did
the important stuff.
No, that was actually kind of fun though. Jason had a box of different colors, and we had a little meeting, and we kind of toiled over it, and I think we had blue, and obviously the red rosewood and the black, and
they had black. We had black cherry. We had all different OD green.
Yeah.
And it's funny, originally we were going to do the black cherry on both the silver and the black.
Yeah.
But then when we got the prototype gun to the silver gun, Smith & Wesson, just out of pure coincidence, had put a black cylinder release on it and had the black screws.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, we kind of like the two-tone. That looks good.
Yeah.
And then we put the black ejector rod in there. So we had this two-tone gun, and now all of a sudden we're like, well, maybe a black and gray grip would look good since the rest of the gun is black and gray.
Yeah.
And, of course, typical John, 2 days later I get a sample in the mail.
Yeah.
I mean, just like clockwork.
Yeah.
And we opened it up, and we put it on the gun, and everybody's like, that's it. That looked fantastic. But the black cherry still looked really good on the black gun, so we went with that.
Yeah.
And I'm super happy how they turned out. I couldn't be more happier. I mean, when a manufacturer works with you at that level, you just don't get that.
Right.
And I just want the consumers out there and the people that are listening to know that that we didn't just throw this stuff together and say, okay, hopefully everybody likes it.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
A lot of effort was put into
one
this.
of a kind. This is something that I usually don't. It doesn't happen the way we did it.
Yeah.
And whoever buys that gun, they have to know that we put, you sat there and you shot, you put, your hands on it, and you wanted it to feel right.
Yeah.
So it's correct.
Yeah.
So Andrew, you've worked with John before, so you probably that was probably just first.
We hadn't worked together.
We
it was friends of friends. Usual thing.
I got
everyone
you.
in the industry.
Yeah, I got you.
And so when I started out at Smith a year and a half ago, I was wanting to try and find a project to put VZ grips on.
Right.
I like what John does. I like the presentation. I like the marketing behind VZ grips. The product's phenomenal.
Right.
And as Jason said, when we were talking about this project, it just seemed like the right fit.
Right.
And I'll tell you another thing too. What was perfect was the texture of those grips.
Yeah.
We didn't want something with real sharp checkering or real aggressive texture because these guns are lightweight. They can be a little abrasive in hand when you shoot them.
Yep.
But we also wanted something that wasn't going to be sticky like rubber in your pocket or under concealment. So we wanted something that was smooth. And that 320 texture that you guys have was absolute perfect because we were shooting these guns out in the rain.
Yep.
It was wet, it was cold, and the guns were not slipping around. You had a good grip on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yet when you put that gun out of concealment, it's not hanging up on anything.
Right.
Your hand wasn't stinging from the the sharpness of the texture.
Yeah.
It was really, that 320 is perfect for a pocket gun.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, I'll tell you, it is absolutely stolen our show for sure, and I think it's made a lot of noise in this room today. Any other last thoughts or?
Well, we're actually getting calls from customers of your customers saying, hey, we need to get these grips. Well, how do you get them?
Right.
So it's already taken off. There are people already calling my shop for these things.
Nice.
So
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk.
Yeah. That's good to hear.
But like we even talked about with XS sights earlier, this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more things in mind, and obviously VZ will fit well into that.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Good to hear it. Thanks.
man, really appreciate you guys coming by. Really awesome. I mean, this thing turned out great. So thanks for the time. I know it's a busy show. We're wrapping up today. It's maybe time for a cocktail and some food, right? So
Maybe two.
yeah, maybe two. Yeah, we'll see. So you guys know where to find us at LIPSEY'S Guns. You know where to find Smith & Wesson. And John, where can they find all your social media and information on you guys?
At VZGrips.com.
Okay.
And then you could use the same to just find us on
VZ Grips on the socials?
That's right.
Okay, cool. Well, again, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have a great show on the rest of the way. And till next time, aim higher.